Hi, welcome to Discern. I'm Courtney, and it's good to be with you again today. I'm joined by Miss Janet Dennison. Hi, Janet.
Hi, Courtney.
It's good to see you. We got to talk a bit about social media yesterday, and we're going to cover that topic a little bit more today. Our news story comes from Gulf News. A new study shows that for girls in particular, the correlation between mental health and social media use is larger than that between mental health and binge drinking, being suspended from school, lack of exercise, and being stopped by police in Western countries. We've talked a lot about social media and the risks on Discern, but I'm curious to get your take on the topic, Janet.
It is a big one, and it will continue to be a big one going forward. Social media is to this generation what wars have been to past generations. It's literally taking the lives of young people. And I think it's really important when you have something that you know is harming your kids, even if it's really hard, even if you can do nothing about stopping it, you can simply learn to treat it as a battle. And I think that's what social media is in most homes. It's a battle between parents and their kids.
Yeah, because our teenagers think that they know what's best and that it's vital to their social lives. It's a barrage of data and information that they don't have the maturity to navigate. And yet it's how they communicate. They're not yakking on the phone anymore. It's a constant text and interaction. Do you have any encouragement for us with these wild statistics and this battle front that we're on?
I've thought about this a lot. If I was parenting young kids now, what would I do? And you're asking for an answer that is unique to your own child. That's the first thing I would want every parent to know. I raised two boys, and neither one of them were the same as the other. So to have the same rules for all of your kids might not work. I would say, to begin with, I started babysitting when I was about 11 or 12. People thought I was responsible enough to watch their children and put them to bed at night. I think 11 and 12 would be about the earliest I would even consider giving a phone. And beyond that, you have to look at your child individually. I don't know what your child is capable of. How trustworthy is your child? How closely do they walk with God? Are they responsible? Are they easily influenced, or do they make up their own mind? All of those are factors that will play into their usage of social media.
Those are great reminders, and it's such an encouragement to stay connected to your child and that each one is an individual that needs their own specific boundaries around this, as do we. It's easily addictive.
And I would honestly say that to parents. If you want to know how dependent your child is, look at how often you pull out your cell phone. Do you set your cell phone aside to look at them in the eyes? You will be able to hear them. There are times when you just take every electronic and you put it in a different room and you tell them, we're going to talk. I would say never forget God gave those kids to you, that you are their parent. They don't own their cell phone. You do. You're probably paying for the plan, not them. You have every right to set the boundaries you want to on them. I would never leave a cell phone in the hands of a child past 10 p.m. I would own them, put them on the bathroom counter so that they have to walk past you to get their hands on it. I think most of what is wrong on social media takes place when mom and dad aren't looking. So guard against that. You have every right to be that parent. And you might even say with a cell phone, you can do with a cell phone what I did with my boys' cars. I said, you decide what kind of car you want. I'll pay for half of it once you've saved up the other half. It's quite possible that in working for that phone will make them a whole lot less likely to want to lose it. And so I would make that phone a privilege, not a right, if I was parenting now.
Janet, social media is not going away. So what advice would you give parents and their use of this technology?
When I was parenting, we didn't have social media, but we did have a change in the television programming. And I noticed the commercials and the TV shows were becoming a lot more graphic. And my husband and I had to have this conversation about TV that I would apply the principle to social media use today. We're not going to be able to take our kids away from the potential harm. It's part of their life. It's part of their culture. So my husband and I used to talk about this. We can't really teach our kids not to watch TV. So instead, we tried to teach them how to watch TV. There were parts of shows or movies that were fast forwarded. There were some movies that weren't allowed. I had restrictions on the games and the movies that came into my house. I think there are apps on your children's phone that you're allowed to delete and say you're not going to do that. It's going to be an effort. You're going to have to know so much about social media, and it is going to be a challenge. But your child is worth it. If they had some serious illness, wouldn't you read everything you could find about that illness so that you could be the best parent you could be? The same is true for social media. There's a great verse in James, get wisdom, though it cost all you have, get understanding. It's going to be work, and your kids are worth it. But social media is here to stay. Don't teach them not to use it as much as you teach them how to use it.
I love that. How, not know. And working with your child and helping teach them the guardrails to navigate life. We can't just expect them to know how to enter these spaces. And so coming alongside of them and knowing that we're with them and not against them can pay huge dividends. That's a great encouragement, Janet. Thank you.
They know you love them. Build on that.
It's not that different from driving, right? We're putting our kids in a giant missile, but they are sitting in the car watching us how to drive. We are showing them how to navigate this huge machinery. That's great advice, Janet. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time on Discern.